As Iran faces some of the most intense anti-government protests in its recent history, speculation is growing over whether United States military power could push the Islamic Republic toward collapse. However, analysts warn that such expectations misunderstand how Iran's political system survives pressure and upheaval. Despite declining public legitimacy, Iran's leadership remains held together by what experts describe as coercive cohesion, a tightly linked network of security forces, intelligence agencies, clerical institutions and economic patronage systems. This structure allows the state to absorb shocks that might overwhelm more centralized governments. Iran is not governed through a single chain of command. Power is distributed across overlapping centers, including the Supreme Leader's Office, the Revolutionary Guard Corps, intelligence bodies and clerical gatekeepers. This network system is designed with redundancy, meaning the removal of one leader or institution is unlikely to cause collapse. This reality complicates U.S. President Donald Trump's options. He faces pressure from hawkish advisors advocating regime change, while his political base remains opposed to prolonged military engagements in the Middle East. As a result, Washington appears drawn toward limited, symbolic military actions that demonstrate strength without committing to war. Regional dynamics further restrict U.S. choices. While Israel has urged tougher action against Tehran, key Gulf states, including Saudi Arabia, Qatar and Oman, have pushed for de-escalation and diplomacy. Without strong regional support, any sustained U.S. military campaign would be logistically and politically difficult. Trump has also created expectations through public warnings that the U.S. would come to the rescue if Iranian authorities killed peaceful protesters. Yet he has simultaneously suggested that violence is easing and diplomacy remains possible, reinforcing perceptions of indecision within the administration. Officials close to the White House indicate that Washington's goal is not democratic transformation, but a more pragmatic. Iran, one willing to limit nuclear activity, curb missile development, reduce regional proxy support, and rebalance its economic ties away from China. This would represent a shift in posture rather than the dismantling of the Islamic Republic. Military force, analysts argue, has strict limits. While airstrikes could punish or deter, they cannot restructure Iran's security apparatus, manage leadership succession, or protect protesters on the ground. Past interventions, such as Libya in 2011, serve as warnings of unintended consequences. The most likely military option would involve limited standoff strikes against Revolutionary Guard facilities. Such actions could satisfy domestic political demands but risk strengthening hardliners, justifying harsher repression and provoking retaliation through regional proxies. More extreme options, including leadership decapitation strikes or sustained air campaigns, are seen as highly risky and unlikely to succeed. Cyber operations offer lower visibility but remain unpredictable and insufficient to drive political change on their own. Ultimately, experts note that lasting transformation in Iran is more likely to come from internal fractures within the elite or security forces than from external pressure. Sustained air campaigns are seen as highly risky and unlikely to succeed. Cyber operations offer lower visibility but remain unpredictable and insufficient to drive political change on their own. Ultimately, experts note that lasting transformation in Iran is more likely to come from internal fractures within the elite or security forces than from external pressure.